Today, I'm going to teach you my number one tournament trick. Yes, I'm going to share my number one secret. I used this at the APP tournament this weekend, and it greatly enhanced my performance and made me calm and collected, and I was able to do so much better. If you're someone that gets what I call tournament stomach, so you just feel like knots in your stomach, it can enhance your skill set if you're feeling like, oh, when I do this activity not under pressure, and then I do it under pressure, I just don't perform as well as I don't feel like I am in the flow state that I am when I'm practicing or drilling or, preparing for that big climb, that big whatever activity you're leading up to. So if you don't know me, I'm Dr. Genevieve Eskridge, or Dr. G the PT, and I create coaching programs and PT programs to make your body resilient so that you can do the activities you like and love for as long as you want to, and maybe better than you do now. The number one trick I used during this tournament was diaphragmatic breathing. Okay, but don't go away. That's not it, right? Because when you think about diaphragmatic breathing, where does your mind go? Does it think abdominal breathing? Like, where is our diaphragm? And how do we efficiently and effectively get it to expand the way we want it to? And when we think about our diaphragm, if you don't remember from whatever anatomy class, here's your diaphragm, okay? It's a dome-shaped muscle. And if you can see, when you look at a muscle, see how it's kind of, the lines are this way and this way? So when it contracts, it pushes down. So if it's like this and it goes whoosh, right? I'll do it a couple times for you. Whoosh, that's when I inhale. This is when I exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Now, when I inhale and I push down, what happens to these ribs is they expand outward and upward, okay? So I'm opening up this region of my area, of my rib cage. The other thing that does is it stops the limitation above that at your shoulder. So if you do an activity, a shoulder activity like I do with pickleball, then activating and optimizing the rib cage ability and capacity will actually improve your shoulder mobility. The other thing you can see is that it helps expand these intercostal muscles here. And that allows the ribs to open up a little bit more. That allows you to breathe in more air. It allows you to decrease your heart rate. It also activates your vagus nerve. And your vagus nerve, it's one of your biggest nerves that activates your parasympathetic nervous system, which keeps you calm, right? And so you're here at the tournament, you're like, right? And even if you don't feel that way outwardly, your body sometimes takes those chemicals and that stress inside. And so if you're turning on your parasympathetic nervous system, your vagus nerve, you're telling your body, hey, we're okay, we're good, this is normal, and you can have a lot more fun. I tell you what, I had so much fun this weekend. And the other tournaments I've done, I enjoy, but I didn't have as much fun. My body really hurt, my stomach really hurt because I was nervous. It works on all of our organs in our stomach and abdominal region. So basically, it helps you feel comfortable and safe so that you can digest. Because a lot of times when we're doing super big activities, we actually stop digestion, right? We stop our stomach from flowing and moving. And that is what sometimes can cause that tournament stomach. Okay, so let's go into how you might start working on this and what diaphragmatic breathing looks like and feels like. So when you're diaphragmatic breathing, you're going to put your hands on the lower ribs. Now, not the low ribs, like kind of think middle lower ribs. Okay, so right here, and I'm going to show you from the sides, your elbow should be about this bent when you're putting your hands here, okay? So here I am on the sides of my ribs. And when I take a deep breath in, you should see my hands move. So I'm gonna try it for you. Now I'm going to hold it and I'm going to pull in more air, and I'm going to think about expanding what I call this the bucket handle, right? And then as I pull in more, I'm going to think more about the pump handle right here. And that gets like the edge of that diaphragm muscle. Then I'm going to hold it and then I just let go. And you can do this a couple of times before, work your way up before you start your activity. Doing about 10 times, like holding the inhale and letting go. That can really change how you're breathing, how you're feeling during that moment. The nuance to this, me and nuance, is the fact that if you don't breathe here, there's a lot of people that breathe up here, especially when they get stressed. And then there's a lot of people that do a lot of abdominal breathing without moving so much the diaphragm outwards. So we were good at using the pump handle, but not good at using the bucket handle, right? So when we go more in depth with this, first you can start just like I showed you, holding this area, expanding here, and then maybe here, trying to get that area to expand. So just work on that and know that in the beginning, you're probably going to get more air in if you breathe through your mouth, but you'll know you're getting better if you can start breathing through your nose. That's a great sign that you're actually increasing your capacity and you're also activating your parasympathetic nervous system. Okay, now here's the nuance, is that we have a lot of things that might restrict our breathing, especially if we haven't done diaphragmatic breathing a lot in the past. So for instance, in my sessions this week, I've had to help people release their diaphragm. So those are like trigger points in the diaphragm, because if it's tight and it stayed tight and it doesn't stretch a lot, it can, just like any muscle in your body, it can get trigger points in it, right? The other things are the muscles around the trunk that pull and compress the rib cage. If we diaphragmatic breathe, we are over time stretching that, but there's a more efficient route to getting there. So we can pinpoint what muscles are tight, open those up, get them stretched and loose, and then activate your breathing. And you can, triple your outcomes there. So there are ways to get even more out of this number one trick. Now, of course, if you are trying this and you're having trouble really getting the expansion that you saw me do today, contact me and we can do a session together. I can figure out what's limiting your full capacity for that diaphragmatic breath. And then probably in just one or so sessions, you'll be able to fully gain that capacity and be able to perform at a much higher level just by this simple little trick. And be calm during it. Be yourself, be able to find the flow state that you need to perform at your highest level. Or you can make a free consult on Zoom at www.drgthept.com. And of course, share it with a friend, share it with the group of people that do your activity. It's okay to help your competition a little bit sometimes, especially because you want to be at your very best and you want to compete against the best. Have a strong week. Until next time, bye-bye.